We're ready to talk some Jurassic World Dominion spoilers.
Did you hate it?
No, not at
No,
all. In
I
fact,
didn't.
I think it was better than Fallen Kingdom.
I I go back and forth because I really like the first act of Fallen Kingdom a lot
Okay.
with the whole volcano sequence. Like I love it. It's hard for me because
Yeah,
I
but
feel
the
like
whole second half of it
the second half's horrible. I feel
brings it
like I
down.
need to
Yeah.
see Dominion one more time before I can decide if I like it better than
Sure, sure. And I probably need to see Fallen Kingdom again.
yeah.
So, and
But
Dominion again.
did you see it
Yeah.
Friday? When did you see it? Did you see it with a big crowd or
I
did you
saw
just
it I saw it Saturday night. So I'm the oldest of 6 siblings.
right?
And four of my siblings have significant others.
Okay,
So I actually was able to wrangle all 6 of my siblings, including me,
nice,
and all four significant others together, and
nice,
all 10 of us went and saw it together. It was a really nice moment
cool.
because all of us rarely all get together, so it felt.
That makes it better when you see a movie like in a group of people you love and or,
Hmm.
know well. That's so great.
Hmm.
By the
Oh,
way,
and
I will.
I was sitting right next to my brother-in-law, and he and I are both just huge Jurassic fans. We went to that event at Universal together in 2018.
Oh,
That was
awesome!
the 25th anniversary. Anyway.
That's cool. By the way, side note: I currently have 162 people in here.
Oh wow, God!
That's more than I've
Probably
had
because
in
Yeah,
months.
probably because we're talking about this movie. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe
So
the spoiler cue works.
yeah, that's probably it is. So how should we start this? Where should we start?
Well, maybe let's do this first of all.
Okay.
Okay, how would you rank? How would you rank off the top of your head right now all the Jurassic
Uh,
Park movies?
okay.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna start with best to worst because it's easiest to pick
Yeah,
best in this.
yeah.
Obviously, we can agree best is the original. Boom.
If you don't have that as number one, something's wrong with you.
Then you're a dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, second place, I think you and I might disagree on,
Okay.
because I put Jurassic World above The Lost World.
I don't totally disagree with you. Those two are so neck and neck for me. Like there's things I think I only gave the Lost World number two spot because it's a Spielberg movie.
Sure, I mean, yeah, that gives it some points. However, those of us who read the book upon which it is based usually rank it lower
Right,
because the
because it's
book
so different.
is so different and it is so much better. Those who are watching who have read the book know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
Um,
Okay, well
yeah.
I'm with you so far. So far no major
So yeah,
disagreements.
Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and then after that, since they're so close, The Lost World. After that, I would put. This is not counting Dominion, um,
Okay.
because I'm. This was my list going into it. After that, I would put Jurassic Park 3, and then I would put Fallen Kingdom.
Okay. Where would you put? Is it too soon for you to put this in the list, the new one?
Um, I am thinking this one will go either out of 6. It'll either go fifth or fourth.
Okay.
Uh,
Out of
it'll it'll
six, I
it'll
think.
definitely go above Fallen Kingdom. It might go above Jurassic Park 3 as well.
Right. I can't remember how mine ends. I need to look. I think I still have. I'm not a fan of Jurassic Park 3 at all. I really dislike that movie.
Most people aren't. I
Um,
think I'm one of the few that can find some redeeming qualities in it, which is hard because of that stupid dream sequence.
the talking raptor, yeah,
The
dude.
talking
Uh,
raptor, that's a type of raptor that Grant had never even seen before.
yeah. Okay. So
Alan.
I have JP1, Lost World, Jurassic World. Then I have again. I need
Then
to see Dominion again, but for right now, I have Fallen Kingdom, then
and then 3.
Dominion,
You
then
really hate
Jurassic
3.
Park, and then Jurassic Park
You hate
3.
3. Wow, you hate 3. Okay. Which again, I get it. Most people hate 3.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's not
So
the best
here's
one.
one thing I wanted to say, and I think because Jurassic, like you said, Jurassic World is really pretty solid, and I think the reason that one works so well is because it's
Relatively.
so much more. It's so much more similar to the first Jurassic Park movie,
Sure.
and I feel in the sense that I feel like the Jurassic Park movies work best when they're survival horrors and not
Mhm.
swashbuckling adventures.
I agree. In fact, one of the things about this most recent movie that kind of annoyed me, that I feel like I need to say spoiler, even though we're having a
Yeah.
spoiler discussion. Um, uh, at no point did I feel like any of the major characters were in danger,
Oh, yeah. I,
which
I
I
feel the same way.
which with the original one, even the second one, and with Jurassic World, I did feel that. It's
I mean,
like,
it would have been actually really smart and impactful if they did kill one of them, like unexpectedly, or like a big
yeah,
grand
I
gesture,
agree.
a
Yeah.
sacrifice or something like that. But yeah, you're right. They all felt totally safe.
hmm and yeah, at one point I was like, how are they all going to fit in that helicopter? And just yeah,
And then you knew right away that uh, Elon Musk type guy, you knew he was going to get it worst
Lewis
of all of them.
Dodgson. Well, yeah, in the books. He's like the main villain of the second book. He's the Peter Ludlow character in the book, The Lost World.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, because I know you're more the Jurassic Park expert. So, what was his name again? The main villain, the white haired dude,
Lewis Dodgson.
Dodgson. Okay, he had the Barbasol can. Did they ever
Yes,
explain in the
they
earlier
didn't.
movies where that
I'm
came from?
assuming it. They didn't. I'm assuming it's implied that he
Found it.
either did he sent someone to the island to get it.
Maybe he was behind the whole thing. Who knows? In
Who knows?
part one.
Because yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. I was like, you're gonna put that there and not give us not even a hint of explanation.
Right, right. However, it was a nice
Yeah,
parallel for
it
when
was.
he met his comeuppance
It
in
almost was a
multiple
way to
ways.
remind you of what he was about to get for sure.
hmm hmm
Okay, let's do this. Let's go. I don't know. First of all, okay, the new characters. They're
Yeah.
mostly villains. You've got Dodgson. You've got the guy who does the bait and switch. He was the tour guide, and you think he's the bad
hmm
guy, and then all of a sudden
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
His name was Ramsey. Ramsey.
Ramsey. He
Yeah.
was more of a plot device than a character, though, because we didn't really
Yeah. I feel like his character was not necessary.
totally, totally.
They could have just taken that character out and uh, used Jeff Goldblum to do all those parts. In
Yeah,
my opinion, that's what they could have done.
yeah. I mean, and maybe there was some sort of scheduling problem, so they're like, "Hey, we got to come up how to a way to we don't have Goldblum for as many." I don't know. Who knows?
Or they were, trying to fill some quota of new characters, and so they were like, we need to get more people in here, so let's.
Right.
I don't know. His character felt completely unnecessary. The new character that I did like was the pilot lady. I forget her name.
Oh my gosh, I was
Her
wanted more of her all the
Yeah,
time.
I was surprised at how engaged I was with her character.
Me too. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is just a not to be not politically correct," but I was like, "This is
You're fine.
clear diversity hire," you know. But no, her character was one of the best, most interesting. I wanted to know more. She was so
hmm
interesting,
Agreed.
very pretty too. Uh,
Yes.
and then the other one that was kind of a throwaway character was that female smuggler, the one that had the laser. It
Oh,
was laser.
the one that had the lasers. Yes. Yeah. I like how they were building her up to be this big bad, and then
Yeah, and then she just
she
disappears. You know.
just gets arrested. Just gets arrested.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember how it starts. It started.
Starts with like a news
Oh, yeah.
montage.
I wasn't into that. I felt
You weren't
like
into that.
my biggest my biggest complaint about this movie is, and I feel like it really hurt the pacing. All the
Concept Hassel says, "Tell me why."
all the exposition dumps, dude. Like there were these epically long sections that were
Well,
explaining to
they
you.
had to do it somehow. How else? How would you have had them do it?
The news report wasn't bad, but there were a couple occasions where they're literally sitting there and talking. And let me show you this video, this PowerPoint I made.
Oh,
You know
God.
what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done it a little better.
hmm Yeah.
And then they went
Uh,
from jumped all over the world, so we were globe
uh, Yeah.
Oh, and Owen was a cow / whatever dinosaur that is.
That's a Parasaurolophus. Or
Paris.
Parasaurolophus, if you want to pronounce it
Yeah.
that way. But the normal way is Parasaurolophus. Yeah, he was wrangling that. Did they explain why he was doing that or who he was doing that for? And
No.
why there was a whole herd of them, yet he only needed one for some
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah.
It,
They didn't really show where he didn't. They didn't show where he took it either, did they?
true, true. They
So it's
just
like
needed a something to happen so that we could see the poachers watching him.
right. Yeah. I feel like it was really only there to prove that he can communicate with more than just raptors. That was
Yeah,
their way of showing.
yeah.
But
He's the Dino Whisperer. Which, by the way, after watching this movie, I realized that your other TikTok, where you're like, if you could choose one person to survive a dino-infested island with, I was like, oh, Grant easily. But after this movie, I'm like, no, it's Owen's the correct
it's got to
answer.
be Owen. I mean, you
In
can have all
fact,
the
that
knowledge in the world, but you need the marine, the military trained dude
yeah.
that
In
can.
fact, that brings me to one of my biggest letdowns in this movie was Grant.
Oh
Uh, I feel like his character was written poorly, and no offense to Sam Neill, I was not a fan of his acting in this movie.
no,
He was it was a bit too goofy for what his character is supposed to be, in my
it wasn't
opinion.
very reminiscent of his character. He wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't accurate. I felt the
Yeah,
same way.
yeah.
And Ellie Sattler, she was pretty solid.
She was okay.
Even I mean,
Jeff
even
Goldblum was doing Jeff Goldblum. What?
I was going to say, even Jeff Goldblum kind of didn't feel like his old
He
character.
he he felt a little, yes, exactly. Which in the first movie he was a little more goofy, but he was also serious when he needed to be.
Right,
And then in the second movie he was all serious and
right.
everything. And then when he appeared in Fallen Kingdom, he was 100% serious, but then he got goofy again in this movie.
Yeah,
There was a little bit inconsistency, but I was willing to accept it because I Jeff Goldblum is like that kid you can't stay mad at. Um,
right.
but Grant was the biggest disappointment for me in terms of those three characters. Um,
Yeah. And I it was pretty some of the moments like the reunions were pretty awesome. Um it's funny the little girl that was the clone, I always forget her name.
Maisie
I totally forgot who she even was. Like when the movie
from the
started.
last movie.
Yeah, it's funny because I watched all the movies right before even, but when because she'd grown a lot since then, I was like, wait, who's this girl again? And as
Yeah.
soon as she spoke, I was like, oh yeah, duh, that's the
I also would have been happy if there was a cameo from other characters from the series.
yes.
Like Effie here says from one of Hammond's grandkids. That would have been cool to see one of them just
Oh,
like appear.
that's a missed opportunity for
Or
sure.
I don't know.
That could have been
Yeah.
so easy too. They could have had one of them working with Grant at the dig site and just done it
Or
like that.
something. Or have one of them appear at the end. I don't know. To have InGen retake over Biosyn. I don't know. I'm not a writer.
Right.
Um, yeah. Or have Samuel L. Jackson show up missing an arm.
That would be awesome. I'm not dead,
uh,
bitch. I'm not dead, motherfucker.
yeah, exactly. Uh,
What did you think of the whole locust angle? That kind of turned me off. I'm like, is this
why?
movie about giant cricket
It's
or is it about
oh, I see.
dinosaurs?
Well, they're trying to find a way to make Biosyn look like an evil corporation or be an evil corporation. That's one way to do it, I guess. I don't know
my thought
why.
was my thought was if dinosaurs are loose all around the world, why can't that be the global pandemic or the global problem instead of this
Because
insect
then the
infestation?
solution would need to be to kill all of them, and I think they would be too afraid to
Okay.
make that the solution.
Okay.
But killing a bunch of locusts, fine.
Fair enough. Fair
Speaking of
enough.
killing, I believe there was a post, a tweet, or something months ago from an official like Jurassic source saying that we would that Dr. Wu would finally get his comeuppance
Yeah.
uh, in this movie. Didn't happen. He got a redemption arc instead, which annoyed me.
Yeah, and maybe
I wanted to see him get an epic death.
he deserves it, man.
His death in the Jurassic Park book is
Oh yeah.
yeah. I don't know if you know what it is, but
I remember reading the book and what not to change the subject. Speaking of deaths, I was so happy to see the Dilophosaurus again,
Mm-hmm.
but
I have
I
thoughts on that too.
I kind of felt gypped that that's how the big baddie died. I was like, really, just gonna do
I
hash the death?
don't feel gypped that that's how he died because that was a really nice callback and parallel to Dennis Nedry's death. Uh, but I felt that was too little too late. I feel like we should have gotten Dilophosaurus a lot earlier in this
Oh,
series. Jurassic World, at least, if not
mhm.
Fallen Kingdom. In fact, they had planned a Dilo scene in Fallen Kingdom, but it got canceled or deleted or something.
Mhm.
And so what I think I heard was that the main villain's death in Fallen Kingdom was supposed to be the death that happened here,
Uh,
but they ended up changing it to the T-Rex getting him. Um, but when the Dilophosaurus thing happened this time, I was like, oh, that's cool, but I really would have liked it earlier.
yeah,
That was
exactly,
what my mindset was.
exactly.
So then,
Let's see.
what would your ideal death for the main baddie be
Well,
in this movie?
they built up this Gigantosaurus, or what was it called?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's
The
called, but it's
biggest carnivorous animal to ever walk the earth. They built it up, and we get like one mediocre scene with it, and
hmm
well, one and a half. I
hmm
I feel like it would have been a little more satisfying to see him get chewed up by that guy, or bit in half, or even like the T Rex and him
but the,
fighting over. I don't know, something really gruesome.
but that's basically what happened in the last movie.
That's true. It is to what's
Yeah.
the yeah. Yeah.
Um, I honestly didn't care for a dino fight at all.
Yeah. I felt like it
It's what
felt very forced at the end.
it felt very forced. The whole "oh no, the T Rex is dead. Oh, she's not dead anymore." That was the most forced moment. I think I rolled my eyes.
I mean, the T
Um,
he saved the day in every movie. He doesn't have to.
exactly. Um, yeah, I don't need a dinosaur fight. I'd
and
prefer a
and that
horror-esque sequence where the people are being hunted.
totally. And that thing, I don't even know what it was with the big fingernails, the big claws, just happened to be
Yeah,
standing there when he knocks him into its claws. It's like, okay, you could have
yeah.
come up with something better than that.
It was very contrived.
What about this in that same scene? The fountain with the T Rex walking behind it and get to
Oh, I
doing the logo, like that was so
I was like that's a bit much, but I actually appreciated it. I
oh,
did. I appreciated it. Yeah.
that was funny. That was really funny.
There were a few moments that were clear callbacks to the original. I mean that wasn't a callback to the original. That was a callback to the logo for some reason.
Right.
Um, but like in the first scene with Ellie, she's standing by her car, leans out of her car or something, and she takes off her glasses
Like
in a
Dr.
very
Grant.
similar way. So you noticed that too when you saw
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
To look at the
Like in
logos.
the first movie? Yeah.
And then did you catch
Definitely.
the Ian Malcolm buttoning his shirt up callback?
Oh yes.
That was good.
Yes.
He's like, she
Oh,
looks at him. He's like, oh, he
he's
starts
like,
buttoning
oh,
up.
sorry.
This thing comes unbuttoned as things get as crises happen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Okay. So then we had that whole Northern Africa dino selling in the was it
In Malta?
Morocco, Malta. There we go.
Malta.
I thought that
Yeah, that.
sequence was really cool. I really liked it.
Oh, I
It
agree.
just
It was a cool way of seeing the underground, seeing dino fights happen, seeing people cooking dinosaur meat and selling it, and
yeah,
kind of a black market kind of thing. I think that was a really cool way of showing the world.
and setting up
And I enjoyed it.
that chase was really cool through the streets with the
hmm
raptor and the
hmm
allosauruses and stuff.
hmm
I
Those
will
weren't
say
allosaurs.
another big complaint about this movie I had was they kind of ended Dominion on this. The dinosaurs are everywhere among us now. I feel
Uh-huh.
like they didn't feel like they were everywhere.
Well,
I mean, I'm not thinking like Dinotopia or anything like that,
oh
but
God.
more along the lines of you'd see every once in a while a T-Rex terrorizing a little town, or
hmm
raptors. You know what? I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit more of that, but we didn't get too much of
Question,
it.
question. when they released that clip of
The camping.
like dinosaurs, no, not the short, the clip
Okay.
of the dinosaurs back in dinosaur times, back in the actual Cretaceous, and then they fast forwarded to a moment where a T-Rex bursts through a drive-in movie theater.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was supposed to actually happen in the movie, but it didn't.
Yeah, me too.
I was
Now
looking
that you
forward to
mention it,
seeing.
I
I
totally
was looking
forgot
forward
about
to
that.
seeing that sequence, and then it didn't happen.
And you know what? Maybe it was, but they cut it.
Could be.
Because how long was this movie? Wasn't it like 2.5? It was
It
long.
said 2.5 on my movie ticket, but it didn't feel like 2.5.
No.
Like my movie started at 5:30. Like the previews started at 5:30, and I was out of there by 8. So,
Okay. That sounds about right.
yeah.
Yeah. I do want to see it again. I mean, I couldn't. All the reviews were so negative going in,
They really were.
so
In
I
fact, I
had my
checked.
bar set really, really low.
As did
Which
I. As
that
did
might
I.
be a good thing because I went in expecting a shit show, and I came out being like, "That was kind of fun. It wasn't
It
great, but I had
it wasn't
fun."
great, but it wasn't bad. I checked Rotten Tomatoes today,
Oh,
and the critics score is like in the 30s. The audience score is almost 80.
okay. See, that speaks volumes right there.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been seeing a lot more instances on Rotten Tomatoes where the critics and the audience are way
Right.
far away from each other. It's like,
Yeah, that's interesting. And a lot of people, I think, for these kind of movies, you just build up levels of hype, and then if it doesn't come close, or something is really bad, it really ruins your whole experience.
yeah.
That usually happens to me, but it didn't happen to me on this one.
Mm.
So, do you think they say it's over? Do you think it's really over?
We'll see.
I bet they come back with another one, even if it's like.
Nothing is ever over if money can be made.
I mean, this weekend's box office, um, it,
Yeah,
it
well, what is
they
it so
beat
far?
it beat Top Gun, so it's the first movie to
Oh,
take down Top Gun, and it had I think it had 150 million,
that's pretty good.
and then Top Gun had 50, and then below that was Doctor Strange with 9. So there's this huge gap between Top Gun and
Oh,
Doctor
wow.
Strange.
Yeah.
But 150 million is not bad. I don't know what the budget on this movie was, but it's probably around that.
Huh.
So
Yeah, yeah. Any movie that can make back its budget in opening weekend is pretty solid.
and maybe it's the end for these characters, but they've kind of they left it open. The
They did.
it's a what would they call it now? It's now a wildlife preserve. So
Oh
they're
my
still there.
gosh. The moment at the end. Oh my god, this made me cringe so much. The moment at the end where Dr. Grant was like, "Ellie, I'm going with you." Right before they kissed. I was like, "Oh god, that's not well written or performed." Uh god, that
There was
movie.
some really awkward interaction between the two of them. Like when they first meet up in the tent,
Any
and
any
he asks
chemistry they had in the first movie, and even
was
in Jurassic
gone.
Park 3, I did not feel.
Right. The chemistry
No.
was gone in this one.
Mm-hmm.
In the interaction in the tent when he asks about her husband and she's like, "We're through." That whole thing was super awkward. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, really? Maybe I'll go with you now." Kind of a, I don't know.
In the world of improv, uh, it's always smart to choose to know something rather than to ask something within a scene. And so if I
Mm,
was writing that scene, I would have written it in a way that he already knew that her marriage was over.
right.
And saying something like, "Hey, I'm sorry to hear about you and your husband," rather
Yeah.
than him asking, "How's your husband?" and her telling him that way.
Right. Right. Trying to relive some of the moments in my head. The one thing I also found hard to believe was that Malcolm would be working for this company and putting on seminars for him.
Yeah, especially after the last
While,
movie when he was so
yeah,
anti anything having to do with any of this.
yeah, and then they try to play it off with this one speech he gives about, well, human race is ending anytime soon, so I might as well
Right.
make a lot of
Yeah.
money or something like that. And I was like,
Mhm.
that doesn't seem like something he would do at all.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. But it is what it is. Some of my biggest laughs, and I mean purpose, like laughs that were supposed to happen, not me laughing at something bad,
Right.
were his moments. He had some really funny moments in the
Oh
movie.
yeah, he did definitely.
When he's trying to do the code to open the gate when they're being chased by dinosaurs through that tunnel.
And he's like saying different dates, like Miles
Yeah,
Davis's phone number or whatever
birthday,
birthday.
or Miles Davis's phone number.
Hey,
Do you know
maybe
how
they're
old
best
Miles Davis is? God.
I meant birthday.
Okay, phone number, birthday, same thing. Um, so yeah, Miles Davis's birthday. And there's some other moments later when they're like in the control room, and he's like, "Oh, you named a dinosaur." Okay, something like moments like that. That
Yeah,
just
like is that you made a promise to a dinosaur,
yeah, you made a promise to a dinosaur. Got
and then later,
it.
like, is that a dinosaur strapped to your back? Yeah.
Exactly. Just
No, it was pretty
stating
funny.
the obvious in very funny ways.
Right. Well, oh, and you were talking about callbacks. It was also that callback where he stabbed
Oh
the
yeah,
burning cat,
when
or
he took the burning locust and threw it into
just like
that
the flare in the first
Giganota
one.
Giganotosaurus, I think is how it's
Yeah.
pronounced. Anyway.
Except this time he threw it right in its mouth instead of throwing it away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I mean, those were kind of nice little, even though some of them were forced and felt kind of useless. They were kind of nice, like nods or hat tips to real Jurassic Park fans.
Yes. Oh, that sequence after Owen and New Girl, Pilot Girl, crashed in the ice when they're chased by that other feathered raptor,
Yeah,
and it suddenly goes underwater and swims and
that was
chases them that
cool.
way. That I actually really enjoyed that sequence and was like, oh,
That was probably one of the most tense. That was more tense than when the Gigantosaurus came after him.
mhm,
That was
agreed.
that scene, and then the scene where Claire was trying to hide from that big bird thing. Like,
We'll just call it Big Bird.
yeah, when she was
From
crawling
Big
really
Bird.
slow and she went in the water, and then it's just right over her head. Scream! Oh, that was pretty good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Big
That
bird.
part, I would have enjoyed that part more had I not seen it in the previews.
See, I didn't. I only saw two of the previews. I tried to stay
I
away.
avoided previews as much as I could, but sometimes you're like watching you're on YouTube, and it
Mm,
pops up as an ad, and it's like, ah, no, and then
yeah,
but
or on
I
TV.
saw that shot of her hiding under the water from it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, there goes me feeling any tension in that moment. So,
Right, right. That,
yeah,
but like you said, I think the biggest problem was you just knew nothing was going to happen to these guys, and it really kind of cut the tension in half, at least.
yes, agreed. The only people that died were randoms and bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to lie. During that ice scene you were talking about, I
Uh-huh.
thought our pilot lady was done. I was like, well, they're not going to kill Owen,
Yeah,
and how are they going to
yeah,
get away?
but if again, politically correct, I don't think they would kill off
That's true.
that type of character
That's true.
either.
I'm glad they didn't,
Um,
because she was one of my favorite things about the movie.
yeah, she was one of the best characters. I would have hated if she died right there too. Um, uh, I would have been okay if they killed Owen's old friend from Jurassic World.
Yes,
Uh, I would have been okay if they had killed him, and could have been a good motivation moment for Owen to get
totally.
revenge or something.
And they had the opportunity. I mean, I thought it was going
Hmm.
to happen at one point.
I did too at one point, but no, they can't kill any good guys in this movie
I guess
because
not. I mean, I think they kind of juggle with the fact that they're like, a lot of kids watch this movie too, so any violence needs to kind of be implied and not so much
true. Oh
shown.
God,
My
yes.
favorite death. I don't know what your favorite death was, but my favorite death was Mister Electric Bike that has no idea that a Allosaurus is right behind him, and he's like on his
Hmm.
electric
Hmm.
scooter and just bleh, he's done.
Hmm. Yeah. Those deaths were hilarious. Uh, Now, what if they had made the bold decision, very bold decision, to kill off one of the three legacy characters?
See, I feel like they could have done like an Armageddon moment, like one of them is like, this is the only way, and sacrificing their life to save everyone else, or staying behind to hold the gate open or something. I feel like it could have been a good send off, but at the same time, they were probably afraid of upsetting the masses.
Upsetting the fans.
They didn't want a Han Solo death on their hands.
But Han Solo's death was great in
I
Star
liked
Wars.
I liked it, but
I've seen that movie a handful of times, and most of those times I cried watching that scene.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie for sure. I know
it's one of the best moments in the mostly awful sequel series.
Yeah, but I know there were a lot of people that were I hate these movies because of that scene.
Yeah, well, those are the dummies.
That's kind of the problem nowadays. Is studios are so afraid of upsetting the fandom that they almost pander a little too much.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. There's some times where I wish studios would pander more, and sometimes when I think they pander too much. It's a song and dance. You have to have discernment to know when it's appropriate to pander and when it's not needed.
That's true. Or
better not to. Yeah. Like let's take for instance with the Star Wars, Episode 8. I would argue did not pander at all and tried too hard to go in the opposite direction and subvert all expectations. And it would have been better if they had pandered a little more.
No, agreed.
However, Episode 9 was an utter pander fest.
Direction. Yeah,
and
they need to find a middle ground.
And they failed to do that.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah,
where you could almost say the Force Awakens was kind of right down the middle when it comes to that.
Yeah, Force Awakens was a great setup, and then the two movies after it failed to take
too extreme. Off. Yeah, too extreme on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But that's a tangent.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think my favorite thing was I expected to hate this movie, and I walked out thinking it was fun. In fact, I can't wait to watch it with my kids. I know my kids love the other Jurassic World movies.
Oh, okay.
I think they're going to love this.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Marvelite, what's up? The visual effects were incredible.
Yeah, I think at certain moments I was like, wait, is that an animatronic? Are they using those a lot more than they were before? Good.
Yeah, and I also thought it was very cool that they incorporated like pure species. They were like, we've created some that are pure genome. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of cool to see.
That's just their way to try and pander to the people who are like, that's not what dinosaurs actually looked like. Right. Velociraptors were actually 3 feet tall, the size of a turkey.
And had feathers.
Every time someone makes that complaint about the height of Velociraptors, I roll my eyes so much. It's like, yes, we know.
Sad, dude.
Sorry, I that's a passionate thing for me.
Here's a question.
Not only should they have been feathered, but apparently there was a theory at one point that they would not have roared, but would more likely have sounded like large ducks.
Well, kind of like if you look at that Big Bird thing, that felt much more like a bird than a dinosaur.
That's because it was furry.
I know, but I mean, like the sounds it made, the movements.
Oh. Yeah, I think it was meant to be that way.
Right. No, I know, but I mean, everyone talks about how birds are descendants of dinosaurs, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. In Jurassic Park, they didn't feel very bird-like mostly, but
true. I guess you were about to say something.
Oh, yeah. So was the T-Rex in this movie our T-Rex, the one that's been through thick and thin through all of them?
Yeah, the same Rexy from 1, 4, and 5, and now in 6. Not the same Rex that was on Isla Sorna, so not the Rex from The Lost World or from Jurassic Park 3. Well, the one in Jurassic Park 3.
Because those are different islands, yeah. That's right.
That's the same team.
In Dominion, they haul him off on the boat. He gets released in the U.S., and that's right. They did say we caught the T-Rex and took him.
And it showed that there's this part that actually shows it being carried in a giant truck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In a giant trailer, yeah.
I was looking for the scars, and I didn't notice them, but I'm sure
that has bugged me for a while, because I'm like, I get why they're showing. I get why they're making that the same T-Rex from the first movie, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no way it would have lived this long. It would have died of old age by now, and even if it was alive, it would be too old and like weak to be able to handle itself in a fight with another dinosaur that's just as big.
100%. And it doesn't have to be the same T-Rex. I don't understand. It doesn't have to be the same T-Rex.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
T-Rex
Any
is...
T-Rex. Yeah. Speaking of which, I would not have hated the appearance because Biosyn mentioned that they took dinosaurs off of Isla Sorna, the second island, to live in that habitat.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I would not have been against a cameo from the Spinosaurus.
Oh, that would have been, dude. For a second in the caves when you saw the spine, I thought it was the Spinosaurus. I was like,
as
no.
did I, and I got hyped. I got hyped, and then when it was those little things, I forget what they're called.
The sun
I was
fans.
like, oh, that's a disappointment.
Yeah, totally. No, that was a missed opportunity to bring that. That is my favorite part about 3 is the Spinosaurus.
I believe there was some website. Thank you, Mr. Marvelite.
Dimetrodon, thank you.
Yeah. I believe there was some website that was made alongside Fallen Kingdom that was supposed to be like the website for Claire's underground organization where she's preserving the dinosaurs. I don't know if it was underground. Anyway, it was, and they said on that website that the Spinosaurus had deceased.
Okay.
And so I believe technically in canon he was deceased.
It was dead.
Yes, Chris Pratt versus a duck. Sorry, I'm reading a comment.
Well, that was, what did you, okay, let's talk about this really quick.
Yeah.
So like that montage at the end showing the dinosaurs living in, tandem with other wildlife. Some of those were pretty damn ridiculous, dude. Like the pterodactyls and the ducks. But the one that sent me up a wall was the elephants and the triceratops. Like I was
There's no way that would happen.
Seriously, no. Like their Lion King moment.
Yeah. The circle of
That's life. What they should have had playing, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a bit much for me.
Well, like, and even the mosasaur with the whales, it's like, oh, he's just gonna look at the whales. He's not gonna eat them.
He would try and eat the whales.
Yeah. It's the biggest meal he's seen in days, Oh
yeah, I'm torn with the mosasaurus. I feel like the mosasaurus has been shown too much in general. One. But at the same time, I would not have been against a sequence where they fight it and actually like take it down.
No, that would have been
from a boat or something.
That would have been like Jaws and Jurassic Park mix. That would have been great.
Well, we got our Jaws moment with that raptor that went under the ice, but yeah.
No, I agree.
I'm more thinking like the Kraken from Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Yeah. Like a tank in the mouth. Eat this eat this moment and shoot it and blow it up, whatever.
Yes, Jaws.
That would have been really funny if they like made a Jaws reference and did something.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, they made a Jaws reference when they had those fins coming up out of the water in the caves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that end part, I would roll my eyes hard at that whole, they're living symbiotically with all the other animals. I mean, yeah, it's fine, but the images they showed were so cheesy.
So cheesy.
I didn't stay. Was there a post-credit scene?
No.
I had to get out.
But I didn't stay either. What I did was I Googled, or my brother-in-law Googled, whether or not there's an end credit scene. And he was like, nope, there isn't. We can go.
Let's get out.
Which is good, because I needed to pee.
Yeah, man. What else? I think I got my biggest hang-ups out, which weren't,
Yeah, you hated the exposition, and you and I both agree that the writing and acting for especially Dr. Grant was not the best.
Yeah. Love the reference to Little Big Rock. Do you know what that is? I don't know what that is. Mr. Marvelite said that. The reference to Little Big Rock. Huh. Give us a couple more words there, Mr. Marvel. I'm not sure exactly. That was funny when they were. It was a short. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The camping short. Yeah,
Battle at Big Rock. Gotcha.
they actually showed like a clip in the news footage.
Yeah, they did. They did. I remember that. That was a good reference to it.
That was cool. Man, that short gave me really high hopes because that short was really good.
The short was good, except for a few things. I mostly liked the short. I hated the daughter.
Oh, the daughter. Okay.
She annoyed me, and I don't think she would have had the mental fortitude as a little girl to crawl away, go get a crossbow, come back, and shoot 2 arrows into the side of a dinosaur's face.
That's true. I give you that.
That stretched my willing suspension of disbelief beyond what I was willing to disbelieve.
Speaking of ridiculous daughters, why didn't Dr. Malcolm's gymnastics daughter make an appearance?
That would have been an interesting cameo as well.
He mentioned that he had.
Now here's something. In this movie, Malcolm mentions that he has 5 kids.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was like, really?
In the first Jurassic Park movie, he says that he has 3 kids. So between that movie and here, he's had 2 more kids.
But in Jurassic World, or Lost World, they only show one of his kids,
they only show, Kelly,
Yeah, that's... And I can't remember, does she sneak... She comes to visit, and then she sneaks on board, right?
She visits him, and then he tells her she's going to go stay with someone while he's off on his quest or whatever, and then she stows away on the trailer.
That's right.
Yeah. Which...
Yeah, they should have brought the kids for sure, at least for a cameo or something. It would have tied more ends together.
In the book, she's not his daughter. She is a student of one of the other characters.
Okay.
And she and another student who's a boy both stow away, and they're on together.
Okay.
It's 2 kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, when I first saw the pilot character, I was like, wait, is that her? No, that's not her.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me making assumptions.
Yeah. That was funny that she was flying. It was so like, wait, anyone else think that some point the guy helping them was going to reveal he was...
Oh, that is a good point. I think that did cross my mind at one point, but it obviously didn't happen.
That would.
And part of me was like, I feel like that would be a stretch. But I don't know how I would have reacted if that had been what happened. If that had been Samuel Jackson's character's son.
All he needed to say was, hold on to your butts.
Ha! Or say, hey, I'm Ramsey, but call me Ray.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would have been funny if he showed up, though, with one arm, and he's like, I'm back, mother...
God.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm surprised at how little Blue is in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought Blue would be in it more.
I expected that a lot more. And then...
But
here's one thing that confused me a little bit about Blue. Did Owen know...
Oh, of course we saw... Just a second. Of course we saw the shaving cream can. It was a... Yeah. It was a big moment. We were talking about how it's like they could have at least mentioned that they sent somebody to go get it off, the island or something to explain its presence rather than it just being there and us having to assume that they went to get it.
And we also discussed how it carries the curse of the Dilophosaurus death.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever bears this can dies by Dilophosaurus.
Yes. Yeah.
What was I saying? Dang it. Lost my train of thought.
Oh yeah, you did say something about Owen.
Oh yeah, with Blue. This was something that confused me. Was Owen aware that Blue was nesting nearby? I don't think...
I think so, because we hear her make noises before they encounter each other. So I think he knew she was nearby.
Okay. Because if he didn't know, I was going to be like, that's really convenient that she just happens to be living like within the radius of their habit.
Yeah.
And also having a teenager in your care, like isolated in a cabin, that's really sketchy when it legally.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't
I'm
like.
glad
She bugged me in this movie. That the clone girl. I don't know what it. She felt
she bugged
unnecessary.
me more in the last movie than this one.
Yeah, like they didn't know exactly what to do with her.
Actually, no. She bugged. Yeah, Stranger Things vibes. I agree.
Exactly.
Stranger Things season 2 vibes. Um,
Oops.
uh, yeah, there were. She bugged me a little bit, but I mean, she's an angsty teen, and angsty teens always bug those of us who are older than that. So
Yeah.
it's like, why doesn't she see it from their point of view? But what teen ever sees it from their parents' point of view?
Exactly.
How old is your oldest kid?
9.
Good luck. It's
She's
gonna
almost.
happen in a few years.
She's almost there. Yeah.
Oh, and it's a she too. Have fun with that.
I know. Good times. Oh, did they establish or say where that Owen and they were living?
Yeah,
Is it
California.
Colorado?
No,
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada.
That's what I'm remembering now.
Yeah.
When he was rustling the dinos.
Mm-hmm. The Sierra Nevada area of California.
There
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of dinosaurs in the snow in this movie too,
Indeed. In
which was
fact,
very interesting.
yeah. I, I'm glad that they didn't have Owen and Claire be broken up again,
Yeah.
and then have to get back together again in this
Yeah.
movie.
That would have been really strange.
That would have been, yeah, yeah. Part of me was expecting that to happen. I was like, here we go again. Oh no, they just kissed. Okay, good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Here's something that really really bugged me. So in the opening scene when Claire and her the two kids from Dominion were rescuing the illegal breeding dinosaur. Remember they were in that
Oh,
farm?
the two kids from Fallen Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. They're getting chased and they smash through there's this little fences and they smash through this little gate, and
Mm-hmm.
inside this little fenced off area with this little gate are these massive triceratops that can smash trucks in half.
Yeah.
How are those dinosaurs contained in this little fenced off area? You know what I mean? They would
That
not
is
be
a good
contained.
question. That is a good question. That's
There's no answer.
right.
It's
No, there's no answer to that.
you would think there'd be
That's
a
just a
wall.
thing. That's just a thing they expect people to overlook
Exactly.
and not pay that much attention to.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, gosh. Claire was
Mr.
bugging me
Marvelite, you
during that
saw it. So
sequence.
what did you overall like it? The cow fencing, it's tiny.
Yeah, but cows aren't like ferocious,
Yeah,
three-horned
like the
dinosaurs.
momentum of their running alone would
I mean,
knock.
I guess if they domesticated the Triceratops, you know what I mean? If this
Speaking of fences, this callback when he's all, "Do you know how many volts were running through the fences at Jurassic Park, Dr. Grant?"
he's like,
And he's like,
yes, I
"Yes,
do. No, but I know a little kid that did.
yeah, that was good."
Hmm.
And how I also appreciated how they explained the mother who created the cloned girl, how she was really involved with her uncle at Jurassic
I
Park.
I felt like that was a bit of a retcon
Oh, to like,
because they mentioned in the last movie no that the grandpa cloned his dead daughter because he wanted his
daughter,
dead daughter back, and so he
right,
made Maisie and called her a granddaughter, and that was established in the movie. And
right.
now suddenly in this movie, nope, that's not what happened.
That
The
was the
daughter
PG.
actually impregnated herself with her own genes and made a complete copy of herself and then died. I just that I forgot about that part, but I did not like that because it felt
and
like a complete retcon of the fifth movie.
and how she was giving her daughter shots that fixed her DNA, but somehow giving herself shots wouldn't fix her DNA.
Yeah, even though they're supposed to be
I
genetically identical.
yeah,
Yeah, there's some pretty big plot holes in that stuff.
that made
And
no sense.
apparently Maisie's DNA can cure everything.
Well, and
So
they kept saying that Maisie is like Blue because she can reproduce on her own, but they never got into how Blue was able to have offspring.
Yeah, no, they mentioned it.
Oh, the lizard DNA they used. What was it?
The Blue
Monitor.
said that they used monitor DNA when
That's
they
right.
made her, and monitors are known to be able to do that. So there you go.
There you go. I forgot about that part. Yeah. See, Mr. Marvel, I knew too. Monitor lizards.
Yeah, monitor. Um, what is Mr. Marvel referring to when he says I liked it? I have been down the rabbit hole of JP lore.
He's talking about the movie because I asked him if he
Oh, just the
liked.
movie in general. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's funny, Mr. Marvel, like we were talking about earlier, how all the reviews before that was released were so negative, and that almost helped us all like it more.
Yeah,
All
because that
expected a shit show.
caused us to lower the bar of expectations, and so then when we went into it, oh, okay, this isn't as bad as they said. The Carl men really enjoyed it too.
Good, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the sanctuary that was in
Italy.
Italy. That's right, like the Alps,
Yeah.
and that's where they
Which,
mined a lot of the amber.
oh yeah,
So
there
they,
was an amber mine there, and they built the sanctuary on top of that.
but how did those dinosaurs get in the mine if the gate was locked to the entrance? Maybe there's
That
another
was, I'm
entrance.
assuming there was another way in. Yeah. That didn't bother me logically.
No,
How did the Dilophosaurus get into that tunnel?
yeah,
That's less believable. In fact, I would have preferred him to
get
get
out of the
out,
cave. Yeah,
and have it happen outside.
yeah, kind
Although
of like
having him go
almost.
back into the vehicle and have it happen in a vehicle
Yes,
adds to the parallelism.
kind of like almost kind of like what happened to Claire, almost
Almost.
until they grabbed it, and you never saw what happened to it after they grabbed it.
He like just pushed it away. Yeah, when Owen grabbed it, I was like, oh, okay, I guess you could just do that.
Dodson was a loose end, and I appreciate. Yeah, totally.
He was a
And it
loose
was a
end.
nice callback to Nedry kind of
Part
being.
of me was hoping he would get his book death, but that's okay. His book death was what happened to Peter Ludlow in The Lost World. He gets picked up by a parent T Rex and dropped into the nest, and a bunch of baby T Rexes
That's right.
eat him. And so part of me was hoping he would get that death, but I'm fine with the death he got.
That I mean, if there's plenty of plot points that if you overthink them, they don't make much sense. Like how
I mean,
all
that's
the
the case in
dinosaurs
a
have
lot of movies.
have electrodes in their brain that just guide them to an emergency place to go. Yet they can't control them any other way. There's
Hmm.
that seemed
Yeah,
like just a convenient way to let's get all the dinosaurs in one room at
yeah,
the end so they can fight.
yeah. Marvelite, I agree with you. As an avid fan of the Lost World book, the movie is just I'm all because when Michael Crichton wrote the book, he wrote it specifically with sequences in mind for a future movie. But then when Steven Spielberg made the movie, he threw most of it out,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. The if the book had been adapted better, that would have been so much nicer.
I want to go back and read those books.
Do it. I've read
And
them both 4 times.
nice.
That's how much of it. Yeah.
Camp Cretaceous made Hammond's death from the book a rumor.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
How did Hammond die
I
in the book?
In the book, well, let me preface this. In the book, he's not a nice,
Right.
cheery old man.
He's like a greedy
He's
rich
a
dude.
he's a
Yeah.
greedy rich douchebag who doesn't even care about his own grandchildren's safety.
Right.
Uh, he goes for a walk outside, falls down into some sort of like crevice, breaks his leg, I think, and then the little compies, the small ones, kind
Oh
of come
yeah.
at him and bite him and take him down and eat him.
Like David and Goliath situation. All the little ones take out the big one.
Sure.
Okay, that's interesting.
Also, I tried watching Camp Cretaceous, but I couldn't get into it. Marvel, I couldn't. It was too childish for me. I guess I don't know how to. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, my kids have watched it. I didn't watch it with them though, so I felt kind of the same. I'm sure there's interesting story connections, but yeah. Hey, Marvelite, we were talking about this before you were on. Did you catch in the big bad Dino Battle at the end the T-Rex walking into the fountain
Walking behind a circular waterfall to look like exactly like the logo of the movie.
I remember I was like, oh, look what they did. They're so clever. That whole fountain was put there for that only purpose.
Exactly. My brother-in-law and I were nudging each other. We're like, look what they're doing.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so they mentioned that. Maybe I should try and push through and watch Camp Cretaceous if there seems to be a lot of
the mind
canonical
control
stuff in it.
That's interesting.
You yelled the logo. He yelled the logo.
No.
Oh, well, and look at that. The Carlman answered my question from before. The Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 is in Camp Cretaceous Season 4. Maybe I will try and push through my about Camp Cretaceous.
You need to watch it.
And watch it. Yeah.
Did they have that I can't remember what it was called now, the ADA or whatever, that limits the aerial creatures. Was that in Camp Cretaceous as well?
The ADS?
ADS? That was kind of a
Aerial
nice
deterrent system.
That was a good way to kind of explain why they can't just fly anywhere. I thought that was smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I mean, it sounds like bullshit, but
it does. Like, how would that ever work?
Yeah.
Manticore is the big bad core. Org. Oh, okay.
The big bad organization?
Yeah. Is Manticore in anything else? I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. Yeah.
Interesting. Camp Cretaceous, does it mostly take place at Jurassic World, like the park?
It takes place, yeah, I believe it does. On Isla
Is
Nublar.
it before the disaster or after? I would assume it's before. With simulated sunlight and weather. Interesting.
The actor that played Lewis Dodson in this is a different actor that played him in the original Jurassic Park, because I think that guy died.
Wait, Dodson was in the original Jurassic Park?
Yeah, he's the guy that gives Dennis Nedry the can, and he's like, "Go get this." In that scene. Remember, Dodson? We've got Dodson here.
That's
See,
right,
nobody
dude,
cares.
How come I didn't?
That's why they brought that character back.
That's what threw me. It's because it was a different actor. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. That's that guy. Yeah, see, nobody cares. Yeah, they used a different actor, I think, because the original actor died. It took me a while because because I'm used to the other actor playing that character and that other actor's mannerisms and voice. It took me a while to get used to this actor being that character.
I can see how that makes sense. That's why I didn't even
he didn't feel like the same person to me.
No, that's why I didn't make the connection. But I mean, that's not vital to get the movie to plot.
Yeah. It's not. And I even though I didn't feel it, I knew in my head who he was, and I was able to just be like, okay, go away, feelings. That's
For
that
me,
character.
it makes more sense why he has the Barbasol can now. Mm-hmm. But still, it's not explained.
Because now your confusion from earlier makes more sense to me, because you didn't realize
I was
who that character
why would this random dude have the Barbasol can?
Yeah, he's no random dude.
There you go.
He's
I learned something from our discussion. Yay.
He's the guy.
Dodson? They should have done a flashback or something, man.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. There's no way to know, but I feel the two T-Rexes Rexy meets at the end are Rexes from JP2. Wait,
I was actually thinking that myself, Carl, man. They could be. I mean, they did say that they took species off of Isla Sorna, and one of those Rexes was smaller, so it could have been the juvenile from JP2.
Is he? Was that just a quick cutscene where they were like in the sanctuary?
Yeah, at the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah,
it's possible.
There's only so many dinosaurs.
Right? And how many years after the last movie does this one take place? 4?
I'm
Is
sure.
that okay, Carl? Man, is that officially canon that the juvenile died?
I don't. I feel like in that news piece they mention how the time to change in the very beginning, but
Gotcha.
I'm not off the top of my head. The Spino ate him.
Is that the one that died in Jurassic Park 3? Is it official canon that the one who died in Jurassic Park 3 is the juvenile from the Lost World? Okay.
Man,
What's
you
the
guys.
what's the source that makes that canon? Or is it in Camp Cretaceous like everything else I've missed?
I'm impressed with everyone's knowledge, man. I didn't know this much.
I mean, it's me. Mhm. I know you haven't listened to it yet, but if you get a chance, you should listen to that podcast I was on. It was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
I actually bookmarked your video because I wanted to go back and watch it. Or is it just audio? It's just audio, right?
Yeah, it's just a podcast.
Okay. Well, some podcasts are video, just to be fair.
It's just audio, yes.
Okay. No, I'll check it out. I
Mhm.
believe it was confirmed by Spielberg. Okay.
But that okay, I believe it was confirmed by Spielberg. That's not going to satisfy me. I need a legit solid source that was the case. I believe me, I've heard the rumor too. I've heard it. I need a solid source to know for sure. Hmm. I love that there was almost a love triangle still between Grant, Ellie, and Jeff Goldblum
Oh yeah, during
because
the coffee shop scene where you could see the
yes,
jealousy in Grant's
oh
eyes.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
that was good.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Marvelite. Good. I. That's great. But where does it officially say that though? Where's the source that says that, or when was it said officially? Because I've only heard that as a rumor. Sorry. Back to the the love triangle. Yeah.
you're
When
fine.
she and Malcolm were getting all buddy buddy, I was like, he's jealous.
When he's slipping her the like access bracelet and
Hmm.
he's just watching them thinking they're whispering sweet nothings.
Sweet nothings.
I was waiting for a. I feel like the one callback I was hoping for in this was a drive faster moment. Where he'd be like,
Yes.
when he
Yes.
was in the car, when he was driving, I was like, oh, the roles are going to be reversed, and Grant would be like, come on, drive faster. That would have been so much better.
Yes, I actually would have loved that. I would have happily accepted that and not, that's the kind of pandering I would happily accept. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, or any character telling Malcolm
To
go
drive
faster.
faster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would happily. In fact, yeah, when he entered the code and got them out of the thing, and then they got in that vehicle that he was driving, I was like, oh, somebody's going to tell him to go faster. I hope somebody tells him to go faster,
I had the
but it didn't
same thought.
happen.
I had the exact same thought. Damn it. Only thing I didn't like was the girl in charge of the smugglers,
Yeah,
kind of cartoony.
we
Yeah,
we meant we mentioned her earlier. Yeah, she
with her
was.
laser pointer.
Yeah, her character was kind of unnecessary. Um, yeah. Hmm. And
Yeah, that was
wait, oh, there was something else I was going to say about Grant.
love
Uh,
triangle, driving
I I
faster.
I found myself actually wanting Ellie and Malcolm together because Grant seemed like a pathetic simp to me. Um,
In this
which,
movie.
which
In this movie.
in this movie, which
Yeah.
is a far cry because in the first movie he's this cool dinosaur guy. Um, and he hates kids but learns to love kids, but he's not afraid to protect the kid. He seemed like, this is going to sound, I guess, old fashioned, but he was an alpha male type person.
Right.
And even in Jurassic Park 3, your favorite movie, I still got those vibes from him.
He was
He was
authoritative. Yeah.
he was authoritative. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. He was a figure of authority, and his character demanded the respect of everybody
You
in the
listened to what he
vicinity.
said. You knew what he was
You
talking
listen to what he
about.
said, yeah. In this movie, complete flip.
It's like that one scene in the original Jurassic Park when he's talking to the smart ass kid, and then he's like, "Here's what would happen with the claw," and the kid like basically
Yes,
pees himself.
yes. And
Yeah.
so in this movie, that was completely gone, and it was almost a different character. And he was, how do you stay hung up on a girl for that long after that many years?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of lore, Jurassic Park storylines, so Vince Vaughn's character in Lost World,
I would have been fine seeing him too.
it would have been nice to see him show up. Mostly for me because I still don't know what happened to that guy. Like they get to the place where the helicopter is, and we never
And then
see him again.
they drop him off somewhere.
Okay, maybe I don't know. He was such a big part of the movie to that point, and then vanished with no explanation.
Yeah, I would have liked to. This is a joke, but I would have liked to have seen the Kirby's from Jurassic Park 3 make a little cameo, like
Like they're just lost in the woods.
having him like opening the door to his paint and tile store and look up and see flying dinosaurs and be like, nope, going inside or something. And just
or
that's
the
it.
or their surf gliding off the coast of
Oh
Malta.
God.
That's
Oh
it.
God. That's it. Speaking of which, I can't decide if I like or dislike the very end of that motorcycle chase in Malta where he jumps the motorcycle into the airplane
Yeah, I
and then
struggle with that too.
the force pushes the motorcycle out and hits the dinosaur into the water. I can't tell if I like that or not. I want to like it, but I feel like there are problems with it
The ending of it,
logically.
yeah. I feel like
It's
everything up to the
specifically the end.
point where the helicopter launch or the motorcycle launches, that's where they kind of go astray. Like something different should have happened.
Carlman, when were the Kirby's referenced? Well, Carlman answers. Yeah, I, I was like, oh, that's so cool, but wait, no, there's something wrong with this.
It should have
But I
ended
want to
differently.
like it.
Like even if it actually got in the plane and then there was some like fight or I don't know, not a fight, but some other clever way to get it out of there instead of the motorcycle just bouncing out in the front and then coming right back out. That seemed kind of a sellout. On the flatbed truck the compy cage is on, there's a Kirby Enterprise logo on the side.
Really, but that doesn't make sense because in Jurassic Park 3, Kirby, Mr. Kirby admits that there is no such thing as Kirby Enterprises, and that his company is actually called Kirby Paint and Tile Plus.
That's right, he
So,
does.
so that sounds like a plot hole to me. If and when I watch this movie again, I'll definitely look for it on the flatbed truck. The complicated. Okay, I'll definitely look for it. But
Which flatbed truck when they're in to Sierra Nevada, or
no, that the compies are in the little dinosaurs.
oh.
I guess, but that seems like a stretch for me. Yeah. Oh well.
I
At
like
least
the
there were no.
Matt Winston confirmed the JP3 Rex was Junior, but never confirmed if it was always the plan.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, well, if Matt Winston confirmed it, then I will accept it.
Oh, and the news story, that's where you see the flatbed truck in the
Mm,
now this clip.
gotcha.
He was
I guess, yeah. I guess Mr. Kirby felt inspired after his experiences on Isla Sorna and turned his little paint and tile plus store
into an
into
enterprise.
an import exports enterprise.
They probably sued that kite surfing company for everything they were worth and got all that.
Dinosaur. Well, yeah, but the guys who ran it all died. So where would they have gotten any money?
Has a Petrodon in the logo. Oh, that's kind of funny.
As a pterodon. A P is silent.
I knew that. Thank you.
That's how you know you can't hear a pterodon in the bathroom because the
Because you
P is
can't hear
silent.
the E is silent. Nice. And we never got our showdown between the lion and the T-Rex.
Oh, I mean that was shown at the end of the last one. I wouldn't have. We know the T-Rex would have won
I know.
easily.
I'm kidding.
I know, yeah. It would be cool to see a T-Rex. You know what?
With that joke, I'm
Oh,
going to bed.
good night, Marvelite.
Sorry, dude. No, man.
As much as I was like not interested in seeing any dino fights, I would not have minded seeing a fight between a big dinosaur like a T-Rex and say an elephant to see how
Yeah.
that would have gone.
Or like a rhinoceros and a T-Rex. You know, something that is
Yes,
like big and has a
rhinoceros
horn.
or a rhinoceros and a triceratops,
Or like a grizzly and a raptor, or something that they're a little more
yeah,
evenly matched.
something to show our modern day animals fighting or
Dude,
encountering dinosaurs.
that's what that closing montage should have been, like dinosaurs fighting mammals.
Oh, of course. I don't even know why I didn't even think of that, Carl. Man, sorry, I completely ignoring what you just said.
Sarah Harding.
Sarah Harding, yes. Julianne Moore should have made an appearance. That would have been great.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially if she was still with Malcolm. But no, because if they had her be with Malcolm, then they couldn't have the tension between Grant and
Ellie. Yeah.
Ellie. God.
Yep. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else to say about it? I feel like we kind of feel the same way about the movie overall. We both liked it.
We do.
It has its problems, but they're forgivable mostly. And,
yeah, somewhat.
You know,
I like it better than the previous movie. Oh, Carlman has something to say about the closing montage. I enjoyed it better than the previous movie, and I might enjoy it more than Jurassic Park 3. No, well, I can't decide.
Yeah, that we said that.
Oh. We definitely mentioned that earlier, Carlman. Yeah, the mosasaur chilling with the whales is dumb. That mosasaur is a rogue. There's no way it would get along with any other creatures. I would have loved to see it fight with a giant squid, though.
Oh, that would have been so cool. But dude, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we produce that part?
Yeah.
We have all the good ideas. They didn't come up with
anything. Yeah, right? They should have asked us. We should have been the screenwriters.
We were saying, Carl, man, how that sequence and then the Triceratops with the elephants, Lion King,
and the pterosaurs with the ducks and the yeah. And I believe we saw a bunch of
horses.
The Parasaurolophus.
Yeah, Parasaur.
I'm gonna make you say that 5 times so you remember it.
That's what happens when you wear loafers for too long. Your feet are
there you go. Or as the guy from The Lost World calls them, Elvis.
Oh, Elvis.
Yes.
Was a Sinoceratops with the elephants. Yeah.
It wasn't a Triceratops. It was a different dinosaur that looks similar.
Yes. It almost looked like it was holding the tail of the elephant in front of it in its mouth.
Oh, God.
I don't even remember what was said in the closing, like, inspiration.
Oh, neither do I, because it was forgettable.
But it was basically along the lines of they can live together in harmony or something like that.
Exactly. Well, I don't think I have anything else to say about the movie.
Are we set? Anything else to add?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say.
Okay, me neither. I do want to see it again before I do my final, but I think...
Yeah, we said that too, Carl, man. We said that too. It didn't make sense when it just...
Yeah. Why was he... Why was he... Where was he taking it? And why only one? Because it was cool, that's why. Anyway, like I said, though, I want to see it again before I really do my final ranking, but it's definitely like in the middle range. I don't think it's at the bottom.
I thought Marvelite was going to bed. Atrociraptors? Which ones were the Atrociraptors?
They were the ones that chased him through...
Oh, they're the ones with the laser pointers?
I think so. Because they definitely... She talked about them being more vicious or something. There was some differentiation that she made. The Malta chasing, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Well, there we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's
It's
do this
almost
again.
12:30, so
Next Jurassic World movie that comes out in 2
yes, next movie. Yeah, we'll do that. And heck,
Or-
I'll even drive up to your area and see it in theaters with you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I'll check out your podcast. Everyone in the chat, go check out Zach. He did a podcast talking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the
Sure, it's
podcast is called Notable Nostalgia. It's a '90s nostalgia podcast, so it's all about different aspects of the '90s. And they originally asked me to do an episode on the TV show Frasier, but then they were like, "Oh, you're a Jurassic Park person, and the new Jurassic Park's coming out. Let's do that episode instead."
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you are an expert. You know more than most. So
Let's not put me on a pedestal. I know more than the average person, but there are probably plenty of Jurassic people out there that know a lot more than me.
you're being humble. Anyway. All right. Well, hey, maybe another movie we'll talk something else. Who knows? What's coming up? We got Thor: Love and Thunder. Are you a big Marvel guy?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can get a three-way. We can get
I'm
Mr. Marvelite in here, and we can pick him apart.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Marvelite's the encyclopedia of Marvel. So
I'm going into the next Thor movie expecting to not like it. So
on purpose, right?
yes. No, I mean I'm actually expecting to not like it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're wrong. We'll see.
Oh, I also hope I'm wrong. Yes.
All right, cool. Hey, Carl, man, thanks for joining in. I'm going to give you a follow. Jake is his name.
Am I? Yeah, She-Hulk does look awful.
She-Hulk looks, yeah. I haven't decided about what I feel about Miss Marvel yet. I didn't hate the first episode, but it's only one episode.
I didn't hate it either. I will definitely keep watching it.
And I will
it does
say,
seem like it's more geared towards kids, though.
It does, yeah, for sure. And not to go in, I won't go into any depth, but I am not loving Kenobi, sadly.
Oh, I'm about it as well. Okay. I've watched your videos about it, and I agree on some of the things.
Okay, well, I just hope these next two.
They're doing to him what they did to Alan Grant, what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
What they've done to a lot of legacy characters is they turn them into bumbling idiots. And
that's why I feel like they should just stay away from legacy characters and do new stuff.
Either that or not change them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turn it off after the Leia chase scene. Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Anyway, tangent over. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
It was a good, fun discussion. Let's plan one of these for the future. Like you said, maybe we can meet up somewhere and go see something and then talk about it publicly on this silly app.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Take care, Mr. Marvelite, Carl, man, and everyone else who joined. We will see you all next time. Later.
Bye.